Hashtag See Incredible, and welcome. It is NBL Overtime, all thanks to LD Mobile, and probably almost in the history of basketball, a hashtag has never been more relevant than it was for NBL 20. The regular season is done and dusted, only 4 teams remain, and a little bit of, well, to be honest, actually more than a little bit, a lot of twists and turns over the last weekend, and now leads us into a huge NBL 20 finals series. Hashtag See Incredible, hashtag NBL Overtime, hashtag... What hashtag do you want tonight, my man? Corey Homicide Williams, what's up?
See Incredible. I'm cool with that.
You good with that?
Yeah.
You're good. You look good. Liam Santa Maria, welcome to you.
Thank you. Hashtag the Gazies. It was a big night.
Beautiful night. Beautiful.
Fellas up behind.
We have
some worthy award winners and some good stories to come out of that night.
Big shout out to Mate Russell as well, who did a wonderful job MC and hosting the Gazies on Sunday night. We'll get to all of that and plenty more very shortly. In fact, we're going to start though. Will Magnay, as a man who's up on our board right here, has had a hell of a 3 or 4 days. He didn't set Twitter alight on Saturday night, but comments around Will Magnay and a possible 10-day contract with the Golden State Warriors most certainly did. But he announced today, or the Brisbane Bullets announced today, that he's extended his contract at the Bullets. How long and how many games he'll play, I guess, is something we'll find out. But exciting news for a team that came oh so close, and we'll get to the game shortly. But your man, Will Magnay, great year, 6th man of the year, and now that 2-year contract on the back of it.
Yeah, fantastic year.
Most improved, my bad. Sorry to Jason Kadee, most improved.
Yeah, fantastic year. Offensively, he's shown more every game, but defensively, he was monumental. He is an elite shot blocker. He is world class with his shot blocking ability, and he's only going to get better. Brisbane Bullets did the right thing.
You know what, Liam, and I think you and I might have called this game, but that fourth quarter against South East Melbourne Phoenix, when he had the first 10 in the fourth quarter, added more to his skill set than we were able to see, because we knew how good he was defensively, but offensively he became such a more confident player later in the year.
Yeah, his game has expanded in all kinds of different ways. Yes, of course the Brisbane Bullets did the right thing, locking him up for another couple of years, all kinds of NBA outs. But I was a little surprised to see him re-sign this early. The free agency hasn't opened, no opportunity to test the market. NBA teams... there's no window where he's off contract now. So there's a buyout.
Yeah. You know what this tells me?
What?
That he's got an NBA deal.
He's out.
This is what it tells me. And I'm sure that Brisbane have...
no agent would ever have him
I'm sure he's well remunerated from the Bullets, but that's what it suggests to me. It's like, hey, you know what? I've got a few offers. I probably won't be here, and if I want to play in the NBL, it's with the team that's giving me chances.
Yeah, I understand that. But if you sign that deal now, then there's a buyout involved for an NBA club. Now, it's not going to be a huge buyout as far as their terms are concerned, but I don't know. If it's me, I make myself as easy as possible to sign. If there's a buyout involved, it makes it a little bit trickier. My understanding is there's no 10-day offer in place, but there's obviously a bunch of teams involved. Is Cam's talking about 10 NBA teams. There are 8 Summer League offers on the table. So this is a guy that's going to have a Summer League deal locked away before, not going to have to go to mini camps to try to get his way in. But I'm told that he's not going to commit to any of those teams until after the draft, which makes sense because that way you get to see the roster, how it's going to play out. So often at Summer League you see a player get into, Torrey Craig's situation at Denver that Summer League. He got all the minutes that he could get, and as a result he impressed. Casper Ware at Summer League with the Portland Trailblazers, really congested backcourt and he couldn't get into the game. So it makes sense. Big 6 months ahead for this kid.
It's been a lot of, and I think it's due to the popularity of the sport, and I think it's a growing trend, which means the NBL's going up. But there's been a lot of interesting nights or days on social media last year or two. I think it's an indicator. Saturday night was almost the most interesting because, of course, the NBL 20 weekend was huge, and we left Friday night's game where New Zealand had defeated the Phoenix, and we'll get to that in a moment, thinking, all right, so it's either New Zealand or it's going to be Melbourne. And then Brisbane just come out in that first 7 or 8 minutes, set the world alight. Then Cam Tregar's comments meant that people were just fighting on Twitter amongst each other about the technicalities between signing and possible rumour. And for an hour, NBL 20, hashtag See Incredible, was going nuts. And it was a weird situation, all in the midst of what the Brisbane Bullets were able to do and knock the breakers out. It was nuts. And normally you're at the forefront of these type of things. That also surprised me.
It was Valentine's Day weekend, and I was at dinner wanting to see what's going on. And
you should have had a lunch date, man.
To be honest with you, it was just great to see basketball being talked about, regardless whether it was true or false, trying to get clarity. It was just great because that doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? Years ago, that never happened. So for it to be happening, that's just a great thing in general.
You know what else I think is awesome? We sat here when it was announced RJ Hampton, LaMelo Ball, these guys were going to come over, and we got excited about the amount of scouts and NBA executives that were going to come to our shores and watch the season. And we said there are going to be some other players that benefit. And Will Magnay's play has got him these kinds of opportunities, but also the extra eyeballs as well.
At the end of the weekend, the Gazies, hashtag the Gazies, so many people got involved, and we see the award winners up here. Of course, Bryce Cotton becomes a multiple MVP winner as well. Scotty Machado, the fans MVP, Mike Kelly, Will Magnay we mentioned, Jason Kadee, DJ Newell and Dane Pinot. As we look at this, Did Lazada, who's fallen in love with an Australian girl, so
yes.
I'm not sure if in 10 years' time we're able to get him to play for the Boomers, but it's a nice start as the boys and the girls will look great on the red carpet. Any surprises? And I'm not talking the red carpet, I'm talking the awards winners. Anything stand out?
Let's start with the red carpet for a sec.
Well, you know what? I'm not a fashionista, so fire away.
Well, I just think that there was more glitz and glamour at this awards night than I think we've seen maybe ever in the NBL, certainly for a long time. All the players, it was a strictly black tie event. Now some people had some fun with it a little bit. There you see Robertson with his black bow tie, Drewy's looking smart, and with the players all looking smart, the partners all had a great night as well, and they were looking terrific as well. So I like the way, the whole thing looks terrific, and it was very well put together.
You got any words on the fashion homicide? You just want to go to the actual
This is definitely just a world-class event. This is elite. There's so many professional leagues in the world that don't even have this. So believe me, it's an honor to be able to be a part of a league that from the start to the absolute end does everything A-class.
Well, the NBL didn't really have this 3 years ago. Not anywhere near this. They had an awards day.
Sure.
And so it wasn't anywhere like where it is.
Yeah.
So even
that red
5
carpet
years ago.
was on fire.
Well, how did you get your MVP?
I wasn't even in the country. I was in Croatia playing.
Yeah, so they just mailed it to you?
Yeah, they just shipped it.
All right.
Brian Conklin got tweeted his MVP.
There you go.
Now,
and that was that 2015?
So what they've done, it's incredible.
All right. Surprises on the awards.
I thought Cam Oliver was going to be first team All-NBL.
Well, we all had him. Nick Kay, obviously, and this is.
Nick Kay's legit. I just thought Cam Oliver was going to be first team at that center position because he was the best center in the competition.
I think in sport that if you need something that riles you up a little bit and aware an award, you're probably not doing it for the right reasons anyway. So I very highly doubt this will have any motivation towards it. But Cam Oliver gets knocked out by Nick Kay. They play against each other next week. Scotty Machado and Bryce Cotton, 1-2 in the MVP. They're going to go head-to-head at some point in the first round of the playoffs. That's going to add, yet again, I don't think Scotty Machado is now like, I now want to win the thing because I was an MVP, and same with Cam Oliver. But I also think that if you look at it, it adds even more intrigue and drama, and that goes to the conversation of things that weren't really relevant in the NBL 2 or 3 years ago that we now see storylines, narratives that are so fun to watch.
Well, Scott Machado lost to a worthy man
doubt.
to lose to. If you're going to lose to anybody, he was a Bryce Cotton. Bryce Cotton's an absolute gun. This is his league. He's a rock star.
This is his league.
And
two-time MVP, two-time champion, grand final MVP.
Led the league in scoring this year.
Back to back.
Steals. And the league got better, and he still was on top.
And that's
shout
a
out
good point.
to Cotton.
We could have as many surprises about certain who we thought was going to win this or win that or be in this All-NBL team, whatever it might have been. And you have to not win it, you've been beaten by a worthy winner. So no one's sitting around going, how does this particular person win it? Right. And that is a testament to where the league is. And we have, not just us, but a lot of people have spoken about the depth of the NBL. The level has continued to rise. And it's, I think, most obvious on award night.
I will say, I kind of thought Mitch Creek would make an All-NBL team.
I agree. I think recency bias hurt Mitch Creek.
Yeah, I think there's another thing that meant that he didn't get in, and that is the respect and admiration that the players and coaches, the people that are involved on game night out there on the floor, have for Andrew Bogut. Fans would not have voted him into an All-NBL team with those numbers. They just wouldn't have. But the players and coaches, the captains, assistant coaches, sit there with their thing and they go, I know when we come up against the Kings, this man is a massive problem. And he dictates a lot of what happens in our games, and I got to give him some votes. And that, Bogut getting into the All-NBL Second team is what kept Creek out.
Hey, so he was an outside player,
Inside.
Mitch Creek? He was an inside player. Well, he played his best basketballs of 4 over the course of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, it was always going to be hard, and I think you and I were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
When that All-NBL second team was announced, you pointed out.
Yeah, well, I was like
Creek or
Tate
Long,
or Tate.
one of them's going to miss out.
No, and Tate. It was Tate, K. I didn't think Long was going to make a team. Tate, K, or Creek. One of those guys.
Okay,
was
yes,
gonna be
okay,
the first
cool.
team.
All right.
Also, I want to say,
Yes.
I thought it was surprising that Mike Kelly won by 26 votes over Will Weaver. Absolute runaway winner. And then on the flip side, LaMelo Ball, 49 votes. Kawhi 44 votes. Geez, maybe 2 or 3 more games for Kawhi and he would have got over the top.
I agree. All right, let's talk about what actually happened on the court on Saturday night and into Sunday, because it was a remarkable 24-hour period. We all left Friday night in New Zealand thinking New Zealand, it's now New Zealand or Melbourne, and Brisbane went bang. And it was one of the most scintillating first quarters. Nathan Sobey was remarkable for 4 quarters. One of the most scintillating first quarters we've seen, not just in NBL 20, but probably actually first halves in maybe the history of the NBL. It was great considering what was on the line.
It was.
In home against a really good team.
It was. Unless you're a New Zealand Breakers fan.
Agreed.
Or coach or player, or particularly if you were the New Zealand Breakers owner, you were not enjoying this game whatsoever. But it was spectacular. It was a wild night. And it was a superbly coached and played game by the Bullets, because they just threw caution to the wind. They put in place a game plan, really the only game plan that gave them a chance to achieve a 34-plus point win, and they got it done. And obviously then this took place. Melbourne United just took care of business. Chris Goulding is really flowing right now. This shot in particular, midway through the third, was an absolute dagger. He followed it up with a steal and a score, and they put South East Melbourne to the sword. Barlow was awesome all weekend, and they got the win. And so as a result, Melbourne are in.
Yeah, the first game, Brisbane, that's when I told you it was Valentine's Day, and I was not able to see the game. But I did call Phoenix the throwdown. And Melbourne United did exactly what they needed to do. They are in now, and the top 4 is shaped.
I am very interested with your comments on Twitter today. It may have been last night, but I think it was today. And you spoke about the motivation or the mottos and the themes around this. And you said that Melbourne United have nothing to lose.
They don't.
I actually disagree, mainly because they've been disappointing in times this year. They've got a stacked roster. They haven't been able to get going over a long period. They went 6 in a row, and they were great to watch, and they then did what they had to do down the stretch. Beat a Cairns team, beat South East Melbourne Phoenix, and, of course, were able to force their way in. I think I don't subscribe to the nothing to lose theory around Melbourne United because of how talented they are. And that, for me, seems like we've given them a little bit of a pass because they've been disappointing at times. They've got plenty to lose. They are a stacked team that have come off a championship and are runners-up, and they get into a chance. You think they got nothing to lose as well?
We can frame it as media types however we want, but you got to go into the mentality and the psychology of the people involved, the players and the coaches. They have been through the ringer. That team was pretty much dead and gone. Our season has been a disappointment, and we have underperformed. They've already been through that and done that. Now they've just clawed their way into the playoffs. Pretty much, we got to some points where everyone expected, including them, expected that they were done. Now it's a free hit against a team 100% expected to win this series.
I agree about Sydney being 100% expected to win the series. I just don't find it to be nothing to lose when you are a program such as Melbourne with the stacked team that they've got and the fact they're coming off a championship and a grand final series. This is...
If you were looking at it from the start of the season, what do they need to achieve in this? Then, of course, there's nothing to lose.
If they lose
with everything that's gone on to get to this point, it's a free hit.
If they get swept by Sydney, disappointing, underperforming season?
Sure. But that's what everyone expects to happen. The expectation is that they're going to get swept by Sydney.
But I think because of who they are, the expectation actually is risen within themselves. I just don't find it to be nothing to lose. I'm not huge on the motto in professional sport. I think you finish 4th.
Yeah.
I get the fact they're not favourites. I don't expect them to beat the Sydney Kings in this series. I just don't think there is something to lose, because if they do not beat Sydney and have a serious crack at a championship, there's going to be changes to that roster regardless of what happens. If it's at the end of the season in a semi or grand final, I think there'll be changes. So I think there's plenty to lose. But I like the rest of the other 3.
Can they beat Sydney?
No, I don't think they can beat Sydney. And I actually always believed that they would make the 4.
Okay. For them to beat Sydney, who do they have to stop?
Probably Casper Ware.
How much is
Basically
the average
Casper
against him?
30. 30? There you go.
He's been killing them all year. What's going to change? What are they going to do to change this? Forget every other position they stacked at. And they are the best defensive team in the league. They're rolling. They're going to beat up on Melbourne United again. It's not going to change. This is a team that crawled into the finals.
I'm not going to say...
against a team that's been number 1 all year and has had their number. Casper Ware is coming back to haunt his former team again. That's simple.
I believe Sydney will win the series, so...
They're getting swept.
I know.
You know the two most important people in this series, because you're right. That's the situation.
Andrew Bogut is
Casper.
fresh.
Oh, hold on.
Andrew Bogut is
You're
fresh.
on the Andrew Bogut train.
Andrew Bogut is fresh. I'm just saying he's fresh. He's fresh.
Okay.
Jay Sean Tate. Okay?
I'm just picking myself up off the floor, my bad.
I know the roster. The two most important people in this series
3 most important people in the series.
are Shea Ili,
Yeah.
Mitch McCarron. They are the men that are tasked with the job of getting into Casper Ware's stuff and making life difficult for him. After the awards night, I was chatting with John Robertson the night before he flew off to Turkey to play for Galatasaray. So who's the toughest defender in the league guarding the point guard position? I said Shea Ili. Didn't talk about Casper Ware or any of these other guys. Shea Ili. Damian Martin said Shea Ili because he is so quick moving side to side, and he's got the length as well, and he's so locked in defensively. You know that's his role. And now I think he's going to be starting.
He will.
Meltrim off the bench. When he's not guarding Casper, it's going to be Mitch McCarron, Defensive Player of the Year nominee. If those guys can slow him down, which they haven't been able to do this season, changes things.
So why is it going to happen if they have not been able to do it all season?
It's a much different defensive structure, as Liam just pointed out. Just on Shea Ili, though.
Shea Ili hadn't guarded Casper Ware this year, hadn't guarded Casper Ware this year.
What I was going to say, it's a much different, look more confident Shea Ili that we're seeing right now. We're seeing more of that tall black really playing well at a major tournament Shea Ili.
Casper Ware, how he's finished up the regular season? You don't think you're going to see... see when he plays his former team, all you see from Casper is a much more confident.
Can we just point out,
these are guys he practiced with every day.
We're not saying that Casper Ware
is going to change.
Hang on,
I've been killing you in practice every day, and I'm going to kill... It's not going to change.
Can we just say...
If I killed you every day and we played, what is going to change?
Well, when are we going to play? And we'll find out. But we're not saying Casper Ware's going to go 0.
I know.
We're simply saying it's going to be a different defensive scheme. Not saying that he won't average 30 in the series. It's just going to be a tweak of what has happened in the regular season.
I'm telling you, nothing's going to change.
I still think Sydney's going to win. We seem to be arguing the same point.
The other thing to point out, though, is this argument of this is what's happened all season. It's not going to change. Nothing's going to be different. It doesn't fly, right? It doesn't fly. I tell you what, like we heard this at this desk last week about Cairns going to smack Melbourne United and put them in the cook, and it's all done.
Yeah.
You said, haven't been able to beat them all season. What's going to change? Nothing's going to change. What's fascinating is we've got that situation with this Sydney-Melbourne series with Casper torching them, and I think we're going to end up with that situation in the grand final series with Bryce Cotton and the Sydney King.
All right. Let's get to New Zealand just quickly, because they did everything they could possibly do in the second half of the year and just fell that little bit short. And when they beat the Phoenix, who were actually really good on Friday night without Mitch Creek, but New Zealand did what New Zealand had to do. Adam Gibson kept just whacking away late and kept them obviously a chance to win it, but New Zealand did what they had to do, and we all thought that they might be the team if Melbourne were to let down in a throwdown. Turned out not to be the case. Either way, some good news on the back of it. Delaney signs, Lowe signs, and Abercrombie, of course, who had signed a little bit earlier on, and 90-40-50 year for Abercrombie.
50-40-90, yeah.
Same numbers, just wrong one.
90% from the field. Big fella was throwing it down. They didn't quite do what they had to do in this game, actually, as it turns out. They were coming in with the mentality of, we just got to win, because Brisbane are not going to be able to do what
they did.
And in the end, it wasn't enough. They needed to smack South East Melbourne around. This was actually a close game right down the stretch. That 3 actually was the sealer. So, yeah, they got the win, and that was good, but in the end, it wasn't enough to put them in the box seat. But yes, those re-signings are key. Finn Delaney, I tell you, there were a lot of very disappointed CEOs and GMs and head coaches in that room on Sunday night that Finn Delaney had re-signed already. They wanted him to enter free agency.
Should he have tested the free agency market, not dissimilar to Will Magnay?
Got the bag.
So he got the big one. Okay, cool. All right. Something that has, and this is obviously probably bigger than anything that happened on court, is that Liam Santa Maria doesn't have to fork out for him and his wife to go to New Zealand to watch a playoff game, and doesn't have to wear a T-shirt. Although I believe Matt Walsh does have to wear a T-shirt, doesn't he? Because we were focusing more on you and kind of forgot about the other side of the bet.
Right, a bet's a bet, right?
So his side is?
Well, he's got to wear the T.
Yeah.
Santa knows best.
Yeah.
And he's got to sit at courtside at a playoff game of my choice. There's the T. Sydney King CEO Chris Pongrass has kindly put a seat, saving a seat for him. Game 1 of the Sydney-Melbourne series in Kudos Bank Arena. So, just quietly, the T-shirt's been made and it's being mailed to Atlas Place right now.
Okay. So he didn't think about sitting in the cans? Game 2 in cans. He looks happy.
There it is.
All right.
Do you think he's going to wear it?
He's got to wear it. That bet's a bet.
Is he going to go to Sydney?
He will go to Sydney and he'll wear it. Are you going to Sydney with him?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
You think I should?
Yeah, you should.
Sit right there?
Should. Well, hey, bet's a bet.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Wait till the roster comes out.
Hey, just on... let's go to Santa's watching before we do anything else. Did you do anything this week, or did people around the country send you tips
No,
through
Santa's
Twitter?
will help us help
There you
out.
go. All right.
And,
Fire away.
well, let's start in Melbourne because Chris Golding was in absolutely fine form in all kinds of different ways on Sunday afternoon. But Damien Lyons wanted nothing to do with it. And this is the perfectionist that Chris Golding is. Just wants the mic in exactly the right spot. And he's not happy with it. He's like, come on. And what was up with the floor in Auckland? Slip, slip, slip. Nobody could stay on their feet. It wasn't actually in Auckland, wasn't it? It was Horncastle Arena. I needed to sort that floor out. But the crowd was up and about.
Loves it.
Breakers fans have been terrific this season. Look at this dunk from Oliver.
Boom!
Woo! Did it go in?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
If it went in, then Magnay, you got to inbound the ball from behind the baseline, big fella.
Yo, that is the craziest thing ever. He got dunked on so hard, he forgot to take the ball
He forgot to throw it in from out of bounds. And a late entrant. Enjoyed this work from Kevin White, the Adelaide 36ers, talking about a very serious topic on the news today.
Book, playing dress up after another failed season.
If he doesn't want to be here or he's looking to leave, then the questions start to rise about what's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, or who are they going to bring in.
Pennywise. That's Pennywise on
God.
Joey Wright's future.
That's crazy. Great late entry.
That's all
I don't know who the journalist was. I think it was Channel 9, was it, in Adelaide?
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Rather than wait about tomorrow, let's put these boys under the pump on the future of Joey Wright, which will be your thick and ongoing conversation. All right, we did see Cam Oliver there. We've seen Will Magnay as well. I'm sure they're both going to feature in the top 10, all thanks to LD Mobile.
Round 20 is in the books. Let's make this one cook. It's your Aldi Mobile NBL Top 10. At number 10 is frequent flyer miles on this Oops business end and throwing it in. You can't let Plumlee get that free. There has to be some D. Perth gets in at number 10. On to number 9, and it's Andrew Bogut. Setting the plate for Jay-Sean Tate, who wanted the oop but still gets that through. Jay-Sean sneaking in from the baseline to grab that dime as he goes flying at number 9. I said it last week and I'll say it again. Do not go to the rim when the big man's covering. I pity the fool going against Joe Lual-Achul. He's in with the big block at number 8. On to number 7, and give Will Magnay credit for thinking he could stop it, but Space Cam flies in like he's darn near Halley's Comet. Cam Oliver throwing it in on the big man from Brisbane, getting him in at number 7. At number 6, Melbourne needed to come up big time this week, and Sean Long delivering the punctuation felt across the nation as he delivers the truth on the business end of this alley-oop at number 6. Same game at number 5. This time it's Southeast Melbourne's Kyle Adnam splitting the double team, finding the seam, and adding a little sheen on this dime to Dane. Pino gets it to go, and that's good for number 5 for the Phoenix. Moving along to number 4, Scott Machado is slicker than melted butter on a water slide as he sets up Nate Jawai, who would not be denied. Nate making the earth shake for the Snakes at number 4. Cans on the break at number 3 as Fabian Krislovic just trying to make a name for himself, but you best believe Will Magnay is rising to the top shelf. You just can't try that on Brisbane's number 12. Big Will provides another thrill as he gets in at number 3. Moving along to number 2, and how about that? It's back-to-back denials at the rack. Will does the impossible and denies Space Cam, and on the other end, Matt Hodgson gets the slam. That end-to-end action gets in at number 2. But at number 1, if you saw it, you know what's coming. In this case, revenge is a dish best served sweet, so just watch Space Cam get off his feet. Oliver rises and flat baptizes Will Magnay, and when he lands, he's got the number 1 play on the NBL. Top it.
There it is. Magnay, Oliver, probably no different to a lot of the other LD top 10 players of the year in NBL 20. And I assume they'll continue over the finals.
The top 10?
Top 10 still continues, doesn't it? Surely. All right, cool. All right, thank you, guy out the back who's turned the aircon off, and we're in here. This is hotter. It's the only thing hotter than us right now is the finals.
Red hot.
Red hot. There you go. Well, let's talk about it because it is going to be a wonderful series. What are you most looking forward to? What series are you most looking forward to?
Perth Cans.
How come?
Go ahead.
I mean, you got the top 2 players in the league as far as MVP voting was concerned. You have Defensive Player of the Year, has to defend the MVP of the league. You have Space Cam going against Miles Plumlee. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing this matchup.
I actually think that game's going to go to 3.
That's going 3.
Yeah, I think Kansas probably is going to win game 2 at home. But I'm looking forward to the other one more, even though I think it's going to be a sweep, because Casper Ware torching his old team, for me, has been the most fun thing to watch in NBL 20.
God.
And if he can do it another couple of times, that'll be awesome.
But the way he does it, like when he hits threes, he's looking at the bench, he's looking at Vickerman. So I like that aspect of it as well.
I'm a little torn on this because at Melbourne-Sydney, I think Matt Logue wrote a really good article a month or so ago about that rivalry, that it might be the best in Australian summer sport, and it's very hard to disagree with that. In Melbourne and Sydney, of course. But I did receive word last week that the owner of Gilligan's has hit up the Taipans.
You're very excited about this.
We're taking NBL Overtime on the road.
Are we?
What do you mean, are we?
Are we? Yeah, of course we are.
Of course, we've had this conversation.
When?
Grand final.
Grand final.
Oh, grand final.
And has said, hey, when are the boys in town? What do they need? What's their riders?
The whole series?
What do they need? We're going to work. We're going to work our way around it.
Okay.
But we're definitely going to be on the road.
Sick.
So
Tuesdays or game day?
We'll catch you up after the show.
Either way, I'm torn because they both are going to be wonderful series. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that Brisbane-Perth series, Perth Cairns is going to be going nuts. I'm sweating in here like Patrick Ewing. I legitimately think that Cairns, the city will be going nuts.
Oh my God!
In that game too.
And
I can't wait for it.
Game 2 is going to be off the hook. If it's very unlikely. Hashtag see incredible. If Cairns go in and win in the jungle like they did, what was it, round 3, and just hit shots like you've never seen before, and they take that win. Imagine the Cairns Convention Centre is going to be crazy anyway.
Joe the Snake. Shout out to Joe the Snake.
But if they have a chance to close out the series in that game, it will be crazy.
We can't wait for it. Now, I'm just going to try and squeeze this in too because no graphic for it. Guy, you can hold it, but it's 3x3hustle.com. It's about to go to a whole new level. It's an Olympic sport. Our man just slowly dropped it into a broadcast last week that you're off to Tokyo to do a lot of the work with the 3x3.
Yeah, man.
So if you do want to get involved, just quickly, 3x3hustle.com. March Mania is going to be going nuts, lots of events. So got to get out of here. We'll talk more about that next week, all right? But congratulations from all of us here at NBL Overtime.
Thank you. Peace.
Next week we will see you. Finals on the horizon. Hashtag NBL Overtime. Hashtag C Incredible. Haven't done this for a while.
Oh, God.
Look at that. Look at that form. Oh, what?